Hello, everyone. Um, because of the existence of the Frey effect and the microwave auditory effect, which of course is part of the Frey effect, I believe that we have got to call into question and re examine every mental health diagnosis since its discovery. At the very least, since we know the United States military weaponized the Frey effect and proved that they could transmit into people's heads, transmit voices into people's heads. And it is a transmission, of course, because it's called a microwave auditory effect for a reason, because it's using pulsed microwaves, the same electromagnetic radiation that a cell phone uses to communicate with a tower. It's directionally broadcast. You know what I'm saying? It's sent in a general direction. It bypasses the human ear, and it makes the test subject hear uh, the message encoded in the electromagnetic transmission. Microwave auditory effect. That's been weaponized since at least 1996. Now let's just assume that if we were able to do it, uh, that other countries with reasonable technology could do it as well. Some are our enemies. Well, I'm sure we shared with our allies these technologies. It was first discovered in World War II when personnel were cleaning radar equipment or servicing radar equipment and heard voices. Okay, from that point forward, once you know that there is more than one reason or way that human beings could experience hearing voices, which are said to be the classic sign of schizophrenia, once we know that there is a secondary or another cause for it, that should have been very clearly stated. Alan Frey proved it in the 60s in the lab, and the Army weaponized it from a distance in the middle of 90s. So honestly, I mean, the fact that this is not even being discussed in large in the larger mental health community at all. It has not been accepted as fact, even though it is. And you only have a few really brave doctors like Dr. John Hall, Dr. Robert Duncan, Dr. James Giordano discussing this in any detail. It's not being talked about in the news, which is shameful and rather suspect. It hasn't been accepted by the mental health community as a whole, which also very shameful and suspect. Um, and of course, there's a profit margin there as well, because if they could identify it as the microwave auditory effect, uh, they wouldn't get you in the office. They wouldn't be able to put you on powerful medication, which would, of course, mean less profits for a drug company. We know that the microwave auditory effect can very easily be stopped using the countermeasure from Case Electronics. It has cured large numbers of people who have experienced this. If they didn't know any better, they would have gone into a psychiatrist's office and put on some powerful drugs that probably wouldn't even have fixed the problem because they wouldn't be directly addressing the problem. It is not from within their own heads. They're not crazy. They're experiencing the microwave auditory effect. Were the men who were cleaning or servicing the radar equipment in World War II crazy when they heard voices? Of course not. Were they dragged off to an institution? No, because they were not mentally ill. The pulsed microwaves in the radar equipment had bypassed the human ear and were interacting with the nerves that connect the ear to the brain. We know that the human body and the brain runs on its electrical. It is essentially an antenna. It can absorb and be influenced by pulsed microwaves, the same ones that are used by cell phones. It's sad that this has not been accepted, and it ties into school shootings. I've made these videos before. A lot of the people, if they live or aren't killed by the police or themselves, say they're quote unquote hearing voices. And we all just say, oh, I guess they were mentally ill, thoughts and prayers, and then we move on to the next one. And the next day it happens again. This is complete BS. And when the truth is finally accepted, because it's already out, truth is out, when it's finally accepted by all of us and the medical industry as a whole, there's going to be a lot of splaining to do, if you know what I'm saying. And I don't think that all of us are going to accept it. Oh, we didn't know. How didn't you know? This has been around for decades and proven for decades. And there's going to be hell to pay. Oh yeah, and lawsuits as well. So yeah, sad that people are suffering, but When there's a profit motive, I guess, here we are.